This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to this wonderful Tuesday MS support group. So, once again, my name is Hannah, and I guess we can do our usual go around the room and introduce yourself, just where you're from, your name, if you need time. So, let us know if you would like some time today. I guess we can start with myself. So, Hannah, and I'm from South Texas, San Antonio, Texas, to be specific. I have relapsing remitting MS, and I've been diagnosed since 2017. Yes. So, Louise, do you want to go?
Sure. I'm Louise, and I'm from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, in Canada, and it's snowing, yay! And
Yay!
I was diagnosed with relapsing remittance in '96. And what else do I say? I take baclofen, and I mean, I could use some time, but I would prefer to. It's not that important. So what I'm saying is, somebody needs more time. I'm quite happy to give up some time.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
No, we can make sure you get time. And Hannah, you didn't mention if you needed time.
Do I need time? I mean, I guess if there's always something to talk about, okay? But I want other people to go first.
Well,
Same.
we can put you for some time too.
Yeah.
That is our job as moderators to make sure if you need time, you get time. So we'll put your name down too, Hannah.
Thank you,
In
Alexa.
2025, we are making ourselves priorities.
Thank you. Um, okay. Who's next on my screen? Kay, would you like
Yes,
to?
sure. I just want to say, first of all, I just recently learned of this organization and
Mhm.
in this meeting, and I am not a person with MS. I am a support person to someone with MS. So I just want to say that, first of all, is it okay if I can listen in just to try to learn more? I just want to be very transparent and honest.
Absolutely. In fact, you are amazing, incredible, and like we are so glad that you're here.
Mhm.
I hope instead of you feeling like, oh my gosh, like why am I here? We're going, you're a rock star for being
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
This
You
is
belong here
you
too.
belong here. So I just want to like give you a round of applause and just tell you like you're being an amazing support person by coming here, and we're really proud of you for coming and you found your place. So
Thank you
And
so much. I just wanted to make sure it was appropriate, and I would never want to intrude in a space, that is very personal and sensitive. And I just want to be very respectful and, appropriate. So I can just say that, yeah, the loved one in my life received an RRMS diagnosis last fall. So we are kind of early on in the journey, and it's been very, uh, it was, as I'm sure it was for all of you in terms of diagnosis, maybe it was very blindsiding. Um,
Mhm.
for both of us, but we are trying to um, learn from others and just get more information that will help us hopefully um, find our way on this journey. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh
it all
yeah.
makes sense.
Yes.
And we would love to give you time if you feel like you have something pressing you'd like to talk about. Do you want time?
Sure, but again, I just want to make sure, please put
Yeah.
me last on the list. I really want the time, if I get to say something, it's okay, but if not, please put yourselves first. Don't worry about me.
guys, it's our job if you want time to make sure that we give it to you. Kay, you deserve time just like everybody else, so we
You're
will
part
get
of
to
the
you.
club too.
Okay,
But
thank you.
we in 2025 are not putting ourselves last. We are prioritizing ourselves. That is what we're doing.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you so much, Kay. So I see Jennifer. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Jennifer. I was diagnosed with MS back in 1997, so I've been living with the disease for a long time. And Kay, my significant other, is also living with MS. So if you ever want to ask any questions about being with someone who is living with the disease, I'm sure feel free. As I said, I have secondary, well, I may not have said this, but I've said it before. I have secondary progressive MS. I'm a wheelchair user, and I currently am treating my disease with Rituxan infusions every 6 months. And yes, Hannah, I would love some time to just share some of my bladder woes, and I'm sure y'all can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely relate. Okay. Jennifer, thank you so much. Sherry, would you like to go?
Hi, I'm Sherry from Northern Michigan. I'm diagnosed in 2008, finally, after 24 years.
Yeah. If you want to say where you're located, you're fine too. Whatever you want to say.
Gaylord, Michigan.
Okay. Awesome. And would you like some time today?
I don't know if I have time because I have a teletherapy appointment at 2.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
fine.
But we
Okay.
could, Sherry, if you have a question or something, we can put you first.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something you need to talk, no, because we can adapt for you in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've got a question or something?
There's one thing.
Okay, then you go to the top of the list and we'll get right back to you, okay? I promise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, So we'll get back to you after John introduces himself. Please take the
Hi,
floor.
I'm John. I live in a city called Big Rapids, Michigan. So there's two of us in Michigan right now, and I'm the third and everything. I'm more on the west side of the state. Um, I was diagnosed in, I almost said 1997. No, that's Jennifer's story. In 2016, was relapsing remitting. I'm on Zeposia right now. And is that the Alexa that we always talk about, but I've never met?
Have you really never met Alexa?
No, I haven't.
What? Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
No,
But
not to
Me,
you. I'm just surprised.
yeah,
me.
I just need like
Yeah.
a couple minutes for a mental health check-in. So
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I see Jennifer S just popped on. So, I don't know if you can hear me or not. We're just in the middle of intros. Oh, yay, there you are. Hi. This was perfect timing. We're just in the middle of intros, so you are the last person on our list. Perfect timing. So yeah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Jennifer. I just popped on here because I was like, I have time because I'm at work, usually when 1:30 happens. So I have relapse remitting, was diagnosed 20 or April 4th of 2019, and that's about it. I'm from Richmond, Indiana.
Okay. Yeah, no, you hit all the points. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Alexa, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, but otherwise we can jump right into Sherry's time. Oh,
Um,
Carmen.
and Carmen's here.
Yay,
Hi, I'm
Carmen.
Alexa. I am the individual that John has heard about. I work for AnCan. You have probably seen me at some other groups. I know most of you have. And it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm filling in for Rick. So,
Excellent. Thank you, Carmen. Once again, we have somebody else who's here just in time. We are at the end of introductions, so if you want to just introduce yourself, go ahead. You have the
Sure.
floor.
Hi, sorry I'm late. I'm actually coming to you live from my bedroom because I just am waking up. I had a rough night but I'm up just in time and I made it to meet you guys because I just wanted to see all your shiny, happy faces.
Woohoo!
So
You're here.
I'm Carmen from Canada. I have primary progressive MS. I was diagnosed in 2014. I was on Ocrevus for a number of years. I'm now in a clinical trial receiving maybe something that I can't pronounce right now because I'm still asleep. I think it starts with a T. Oh, it's so bad. It's a randomized control trial, and I go every 3 months to Vancouver, and I'm having a rough time. So yeah, I'd like some time. If you guys have some time to hear some misery. No, just kidding.
No, you're
I'm sorry I
good.
missed all the introductions. I missed everyone's stuff. So I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Appreciate you
Taking my
introducing
camera
yourself.
out on my iPad. Sorry, guys.
Christy, I saw Christy just arrived. We're just finishing up our introductions. So if you want to take the floor, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Christy. I currently reside in Phoenix, Arizona. I was diagnosed 23 years ago. I have secondary progressive. I am now on Ocrevus. So that infusion is coming up in a couple weeks. Yay.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Christy. All right. Let's go to Sherry. Sherry, you have the floor. Tell us what's on your mind.
Well, I had a nasty virus that I went to the doctor for around the first week of January. I woke up the next day and my ear was just stabbing with pain. So I go to the walk-in clinic. They gave me drops that didn't work. They gave me an antibiotic that didn't work. I go back. They give me another one that didn't work. I can't hear very well. I am not. I can't unplug my ears. I don't know what to do about it. Rural healthcare stinks.
Huh, yeah. So you can't unplug your ear. Does that mean like it just feels like a buildup? Like
Both of them are just plugged and I can't hear very well. I got my iPad turned up all the way. It's really getting to me, and then being stuck in all the snow and cabin fever and
yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. Uh yeah. So remind me again when you had gotten this virus?
got it. I think I went to the doctor the first week of January or the second week. I can't see my calendar from here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty recently. Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't do any testing for strep or anything. He didn't even look in my ears. So the next day I get up and and I also got my eye looked like I had pink eye. And
Okay.
up. Yeah. And that finally went away with the amoxicillin. And then I finished the amoxicillin. Then they gave me Zithromax. And it's just really getting old not being able to hear. And she goes, well, you might want to go see an ENT. Unfortunately, it takes like 6 months to get in.
That is so frustrating.
Rural healthcare, I mean, it's just it just upsets me so much.
Yeah, and I mean that's a long time for anyone to wait, really. I mean, I'm surprised your doctor didn't do more, honestly. Just inspections and that's it.
No testing for anything. I don't know if I had the flu. I don't know if I had COVID. Felt like I had COVID from when I had COVID back in August. It really horrible.
Yeah. Hmm.
Don't know.
Yeah, that's hard. That's really hard. That I don't know. You're just reminding me because I had dealt with a I don't know, like a virus in my eye that I was treated for, but then like just a cascade of symptoms and things after that. This was in July, so not to take away from your time, but
No,
you know,
no,
just sounds like it just sounds like very typical, I guess, of MS to do that.
really?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because yeah, I just feel like we also forget that we can be immunocompromised too.
No, I'm so tired of being sick. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I haven't talked about this much, but like I had been to the doctor pretty much every single week, at minimum one a week, from like July all the way until earlier this year.
Oh,
A lot. Um, so for some eye issues, and yeah, it can. I don't live in a rural area like you do, Sherry, so I can't even imagine like what that's like to wait for specialized care.
no.
And they're just sending you to an ENT, so that's a lot.
It sucks. Rural
Yeah.
healthcare sucks sometimes. I travel like an hour and a half to go to my neurologist because I love her.
You must have grand.
Worth it then. Yeah, I've known people, I've met people who live in like, I don't know, places like Durango, Colorado, and like they travel all the way to Denver just for their health care. So,
And
um,
honestly, to my town, Sherry's area is like you go there because you have all the stores and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's funny that we still think of that as rural. It's because it's not Detroit or Grand Rapids.
okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that,
Sherry, I'm so sorry to hear that they're telling you that long. Like in my mind, you're almost an emergency case.
What I was again. It's like it almost seems like I'm not getting any help.
Yeah,
Gary, I have a question. Does it hurt, or is it just that you can't hear well?
Doesn't hurt very much anymore. It's just like I know it's there.
Yeah.
It reminds me it's there, but it doesn't. It's not like it was like ice stabbing pain. Oh my gosh! When I went to the walk-in clinic because I couldn't get into my primary.
mm,
Uh,
you know, and maybe it sounds silly, okay, but did they check for a buildup of earwax? I only mention that because I have that problem, only in one ear, okay?
hey,
Look in my ears, and then the walk-in clinic told me that I have fluid in my ears.
Oh, okay. Fluid.
So
Like me.
I've been taking like Benadryl to try and dry it up, but that didn't help either.
Huh, okay. And she didn't tell you anything else you can do to just sort of mitigate those.
I just called them today. I just called them back, my primary, and I said, "What do I do? You know, I haven't been able to hear for weeks, and this is getting old."
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I don't think it helps, Sherry, that Michigan temperatures have been negative, like last week, and now we're in the 20s and then 30s, maybe at the tail end of the week, and then we go back down. Just a
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
fluctuation
All
of
is
temperature.
right.
Yeah. Ah,
it makes me feel really like sludgy,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Mm.
But your balance, Sherry, like, are you feeling like your balance is really wacky too with the ear issues?
Only when I first get up. It's not. I feel like I'm yelling. I'm not yelling, am I?
No, mm-mm. No, you're not yelling.
I can hear myself. I feel like I'm yelling, but I don't know. It just
I
I can't
I
ride
have
the bus to go anywhere because the bus won't come up the driveway. I can't get my wheelchair down the driveway because there's too much snow, and the wheelchair tires aren't made for snow. I just kind of feel stuck. I'm feeling very stuck.
Kevin.
Is there no one that can help with your like to shovel a pathway for you, or
I can't get my wheelchair. My tires are hard, the hard ones, and they just do not go through the snow at all. And we got a long driveway.
Oh.
Hey, Sherry, just real quick. I had that same issue. My right ear, it was like in 2023, I got something that was plugging up my right ear. And I went to an ear doctor, and there was no wax buildup.
Yeah.
Um, and so, what they thought would be a good solution was to put a tube in my ear.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's not that bad. It's really not. I've had the tube now since I went to that doctor. However, I haven't regained my hearing 100% in my right ear. So I think it's an MS thing. I don't think it's a cold thing. So it's I don't know. It's very hard to tell, especially when you have MS.
Yeah.
Because I can hear perfectly fine out of my left ear, but my right ear sounds like it's very like muted. Not completely muted, but it's not I can't hear as well out of my right ear as I can in my left ear.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, it could be an MS thing, and it just popped up during a cold because that's what happened with me.
Mm.
this is so
So,
funny that you're all talking about ear problems because you guys, I've had ongoing where I'm like so sensitive to the pressure, and I feel like I'm constantly on a plane going ah, cracking my
Mhm.
jaw just to get my ears to equalize, and like I can do it every 10 seconds sometimes. It's awful, like just that.
Really?
It
that,
feels like there's like it sounds kind of like there's liquid in there, but it's just I think I'm just hearing my jaw, like the ear and the I think it's my eustachian tubes that are just kind of maybe collapsing and not draining properly. So I think I need to start like looking up some type of like facial lymphatic whatever
Yeah.
massage.
I
I
did.
don't know. Maybe
I come up and it's like to do circles in your ear and all kinds of stuff. I've been doing it. No avail.
oh,
And Sherry, some of my symptoms that I've had with ear problem is um, just like you, I can't hear very well, or it's very, very loud. So even putting my head on the pillow, just the sound of the sheets is it's really uh, very uncomfortable. So it fluctuates. Doesn't happen very often, but depending on what's going on in my life, if I have stress or the environment, if like you were talking about, or somebody was talking about, it gets warm and then it gets cold, and it's when it changes from uh, when it changes from being cold to being warm or vice versa, it's in the change where I can experience this ear problem. And I would prefer not to hear and it's really loud, because everything, just putting a knife down or a fork, it's just unbearable.
Luis, I have to wonder if your issue might actually be an MS issue.
Yeah, that
Yes, it is definitely.
Okay, because I know that well, I've read it on like the one of the websites that gives you like lists of symptoms, like one of the I think it was MS Society. They have a list of rare symptoms, and ear problems are an issue because I know that one of my issues that recurs whenever I'm really stressed, or like how you described, Luis, where you get like fluctuations in temperatures.
Yeah.
I'm sensitive to temperatures too. So like I'll have an issue where I can hear fine, but it's like the information comes in garbled maybe. Like I can't really like process the information. So
Yeah.
like people think I can't hear them, but I can't like the ears are auditory is fine, but it's just the information processing that.
Process.
I have that same problem too.
Okay, you did, yeah.
Oh, I was talking about it.
But
Carmen, you go ahead.
I just meant that I just said that's a lot of us. Wow.
yeah, that is a lot of us, and we don't really talk about ear problems too often either. So it's I'm glad we're talking about this because it's one of those things where, like, especially in the beginning, like you think you're crazy for thinking these things.
No.
Not.
That was my first.
Very good really resonated with me because Dan will say this often because Sherry, you said you felt like you were screaming, and Dan will say that, and I can sometimes hardly hear him, and he thinks he's screaming, and it sounds like he's screaming in his head, and like you had said, and it's just so. I think that's interesting. Again, Carmen,
Oh,
just so many of us have ear like auditory.
The one that
looks like Charlie, my therapist, and she also has MS.
Oh wow.
Oh, I was so Alexa hooked me up, and I was so grateful to find her. So I gotta go. I'm sorry for venting and running.
Oh, no, it's good to see you, Sherry.
No, it's so good to see you.
To see you.
yeah,
Sherry.
Thanks, Sherry.
Bye.
I'll love you, Sherry. Good luck. Good luck.
okay, so let me look at my list. Who else here really needs some time? I'd like to give you
About Carmen, did you say you wanted to chat?
Yeah, I will. I feel bad like jumping on second if I joined last though. So I don't know what I didn't hear interruptions. I heard interruptions, but I didn't
Hear you.
hear you guys.
You're
Just
frozen?
what's that?
how about now? Am I okay?
Yeah, I think you're back.
Oh, now
You're not back.
not back.
No.
Carmen, why don't you go ahead? How about that?
Is it working? Are you guys hearing me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
It's me.
Okay. All right. Because I've had problems in my bedroom here too sometimes because my router or whatever thing is like far away, but we got a new system last week, so maybe it's working. I don't know. At least that system might be working better than my system. My God, I started to think about a list of all the crap that I've been dealing with, and it's quite long, so I'm not even going to list it, but it's just been a challenging time, and that's why I'm coming to you live from my bedroom today. Like, this is not my normal procedure. It's just I just couldn't deal with getting up because I was up half the night and I just stayed in bed. I said, okay, just give yourself a break. My feet have been so swollen. I can't even believe how fat those fat little porkers can get. Do you know that your toes can individually swell? Have you ever seen that?
No.
Literally, my foot,
Yeah.
got to find my camera. Like if this is my foot, this part is puffy. And then like in the middle of the night when I got up, I saw that like these bottom three also had little almost they looked like blisters, like puff, like swelling. I said, "Oh my God, no wonder I can hardly use my feet. Good grief." Like as if all the rest isn't fun enough. But I found my toes today and I found actual veins on my foot. So I'm still sitting here with my feet like elevated. I'm trying to find my camera. I'm not used to this using my iPad. Anyway, I'm sitting here almost like a V just to keep my feet up for a while.
So, Carmen, do you know what's causing that? Is it part of MS?
Well, it's part of not being mobile as much and
Yeah.
just extra swelling. My blood pressure has been fine. So I just started some Lasix. But then that creates problems because my bladder has been such shit lately that I'm just running back and forth to the commode. So I'm in the middle of like seeing a urologist. I just had a cystoscopy. I have to go for a ultrasound because she's doing a full workup of my urinary system, which is good, but probably I'm going to get Botox and hopefully, fingers crossed, that's going to help things because it's very limiting, like I feel like I can't go anywhere and it's just awful, So then that decreases your mobility because you're like tied to being close to home and close to your bathroom and it's just been ugh. And then trying to get ready for my next trip to Vancouver, which is another, thing that causes a lot of swelling just because I'm sitting in the van and traveling and not eating your normal foods. So then puffy from that. So
And you
anyway,
travel to Vancouver also, right? Which is pretty far. Is it 5 hours?
it's about 5 hours for us,
I
sometimes even
remember
a little.
you saying that last time, and I was curious to know, is it 5 hours to get there, or is it there and back 5 hours?
No. It's 5 hours to get there.
Oh, wow.
Normally
Carmen.
not quite that long, but it is like in winter or for us,
Yeah.
frequent pauses, but people can do it in 3.5 hours if they're speeding on the Coquihalla, which is a big highway, but it's a mountain highway. So in winter, you can't really do that. But
You do that in one day, like there and back?
no, oh God, no. Because when I'm at the clinic, I have like day-long tests, sometimes day and a half.
Okay.
I'll have a half day, which is all just clinical testing, whatever. Last time I was there, I had an MRI, so like I had, it goes on and on. It's just never ending fun. But I mean, I'm seeing all my clinic people, and it's not, I'm not, I say it's lots of fun. It is actually fun because I'm seeing people, and it's a positive place to be. It's just takes a lot of time and energy because it's a full workup, like a neurologist is doing a full EDS, and I'm doing a 50-meter walk. I'm supposed to do a bigger walk, but I'm not able to do it at this point. And um,
And how
if
often do you go?
time, I go every 3 months right now,
Okay.
and every 6 months is the MRI. So it's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be sending a letter to the sponsor and just saying like every 3 month is a little overwhelming for people with primary progressive, and it's not realistic for someone that doesn't live in the city.
Yeah.
Different if I lived there, it wouldn't be a problem, but to be able to get there every time is challenging. So
How long is it? How long are you, like, is it a year or
no, it's potentially 4 years.
4
Although,
years?
and
Oh,
I know it's a long time. And I did that with Ocrevus already. It was only every 6 months, but I've been going back and forth to Vancouver probably since 2017. So that's a long time to be traveling back and forth like that. Although there was about a year that, pardon me, it was about a year and a half that I didn't because my study was wrapped up. But yeah, this is,
Carmen,
I'm just trying to get to whatever treatment I can possibly get and
sure.
do my little piece to research, I guess. One sec.
so Carmen, just a quick question. When would you find out if you're on a placebo or if you're actually on the medication?
Great question. So, because I entered this study quite late, I actually potentially might like they might reach their quota of information, I guess, or like they might find what they were looking for, and then they would convert us all to open label, and that's the whole reason for being involved in the study. That's what happened with Ocrevus. Like it was an open label study. I was actually on the medication, but once they were done with collecting data, then I was able to access it before it was available in Canada because it wasn't approved, as you might remember. It was not approved for primary progressive initially. So I was able to access it probably 2.5 years before it was actually commercially available. And so that'll be the same with this medication. Rick knows what it's called, and it's a medication that has been approved for relapsing remitting. They're just checking to see if it's actually viable for primary progressive. So
Okay.
the other reason that I might find out is if my symptoms continue to increase, but that has to be proven over 6 months, and I'm not sure if this next visit would be the time or if I have to wait another 3 months. Like they have to have confirmed disability progression over 6 months. So I'm going to talk to them and see if it's now, because I had my last session was quite different than my initial. So I don't know if it's this time that they might say, okay, we're going to convert you to open label. So then at least I'd know, am I on the medication or not? You know, like if I'm on the medication and this is how things are going, I continue on this medication and see if it makes a difference. Like, how long does it take to make a difference? It's not going to improve my symptoms. It's just supposed to like halt progression. So far, it's not halting progression. So my MRI showed only a small lesion, so I don't have a lot of active lesions. I have one new small one on my frontal lobe, which I don't know if I have more in my frontal lobe. I've got to meet with my neurologist to sort of hear like where are my lesions and what's happening. But I'm definitely in that PRIMA or whatever they call it, progression without evidence of. I can't remember what it's called. Do you guys know what it's called? Smoldering MS, if people have
HERA.
to it.
HERA,
HERA.
progression independent of relapse activity.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes,
Yes.
it is. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. And then of course we need to like downsize and sell our place because it's just too much. Like I don't have a laundry on this floor, so I have to go downstairs, which is 2 stair lifts, like transfer on and off, like a few steps, because it's like a split level house where you come in and there's stairs going up or down. And then like it's just a lot. My whole life is just a lot right now. So
Okay.
it hasn't been a lot of
Yeah,
fun, to be honest.
transferring to the stair lift is definitely exhausting. I did it just for one stair lift, and that was definitely took a lot of energy out of me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I feel your pain on that.
And so funny because I go from like, I go in these waves, and even yesterday, like I had a great day, but then by the end of the day, well, I overdo it regularly, and that's what I did. So I need to learn. I don't think I'll ever learn because I keep
No,
I've been telling myself that since the beginning. I think I'm never
it's
gonna.
for years I've been saying that,
yeah.
Yeah.
On a good day, you try to put in as much as you can, right?
I know.
Yeah.
And you pay for it.
No, Carmen, I'm sure you know that you can't have too much fun on a good day. That's
Yeah.
it's true.
Well, I just keep working. Like I just overdo it. I had physical therapy yesterday. I had a shower in the morning. I didn't wash my hair, but I still had a shower. Then I had physical therapy. We walked, and I did awesome. Like I'm standing up straight. I'm actually able to lift my feet. I mean, it's a hallway and back twice, over the course of time, but still, it's a lot for me. And then an hour later, I had a new assistant come that I've met, and she's so lovely. Oh my gosh, I was looking for someone to help out in the house, and I saw this ad just in a local neighborhood app, and she specifically said, "Are you late? I'm looking to help out with, I can do anything like housework or I don't even meal prep, blah blah blah, yard work. I'm a hard worker and just looking for, something." And so I sent her a message, and she responded right away. She lives like 3.5 blocks away. She wants something close to home. She doesn't want to have to travel very far. So she's had all these people responding, and she's like, I don't want to talk to them. Like they live too far away. They're up in the hills there, or they're across the lake there. And so it's been lovely. And so for the first day, she shows up with this huge, and I'm not kidding, like it was I can't find my camera. Anyway, huge salad. Her first day, and she just arrives with this huge salad, and it's decorated like with onions, making a star in the middle. Like, oh my God, she's just so awesome, and she's just
Wow.
like, I hugged her at the end and said, thank you, thank you.
Oh,
So we're gonna get lots done. I feel like, oh, thank God, finally I have someone that can do the up and down for the laundry and help me get my room organized because I can't reach my top closet anymore. So everything's just on my stool. Like, I don't know. I just like my house is in shambles. I've got piles of stuff that I want to organize everywhere, and it's just like, you know how that feels when your house is out of order. Like I feel
I
like
know how that feels. You see behind me. I understand.
shelves at least to put shit on though.
There's a lot down here you guys don't see. A
Yeah,
lot behind
Well,
the camera too.
electric.
yeah, that's behind me. But if you go out that door right there,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Okay,
the nice side.
I'm not alone. That's good.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Yeah. Anyway, it feels like juggling, like, okay, what problem am I gonna like focus on today, sort of thing, and then the other things are kind of in the background, and anyway. So yeah, that's me.
You got a lot going.
Yeah,
You have a lot going on. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I mean,
Uh,
like you and I have a lot in common. Like, and I'm sure Jennifer feels the same way. Being in a wheelchair makes it very hard to get stuff organized and up on shelves and get stuff off shelves that you need and stuff like that.
mhm.
For me anyway. It's very exhausting just thinking about getting something off of a shelf or putting something on a shelf. It's very mentally exhausting because you got to figure stuff out in your head before you try to stand,
Yep.
and you have to think about, do I have the strength to stand and take care of this? So yeah, I feel like you and I live the same life.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. Like it's just you, and even just to move from room to room, like you really want to think, okay, what do I need? I mean, I've got a power chair, thank God, but it's still like you try to be efficient. So you're like, okay, I got it. What am I gonna need? And the next hour, okay, I'm gonna want this. I'm gonna want my phone. Okay, where's my earpiece or like, ugh.
great word you used, efficiency. Like, it's exhausting to have to think about how you're going to be efficient so that you have the spoons, you have the energy, go
Mhm.
about your day if you're even able to go about your day, and you have to think about
Right.
it now. So yeah, I now.
But- And last night it was funny because I dropped my lotion, and being in the wheelchair and being at my mom's, and my mom's house is nice. Everything is small. So it's like, God, can I just, can my hands just hold on to stuff or grab stuff without knocking it over to
Ah,
where I have to bend over and grab it?
yes.
Is That is so frustrating that I can't hold on to stuff, and or I knock it over because I can't grab it, and then it falls on the floor, and I have to figure out a way to get it off the floor without wasting too much energy. It's so frustrating.
So,
My
Christy,
my friend.
right before this meeting, Christy, one of my dogs pooped on the linoleum in the kitchen,
Uh-huh.
and it's very difficult to pick that up while you exist in a wheelchair. I
Right.
didn't have my grabber, so what I ended up doing was throwing down a piece of paper towel,
Uh-huh.
moving the poop on top, folding the towel over. I didn't want to try to pick the towel up as a whole and then push it down there because that's just more spills and I'm running my wheels through it. So
Right.
I rolled past it to the end of the kitchen, turned around, and with my claw, I just dragged the paper towel oh so slowly down the hallway. Like, man, this would be a lot easier if I could just grab like a Meyer bag or a Walmart bag and just get it off the ground.
Right.
If I go too far forward, then I'm in a world of shit.
Uh-huh.
Literally.
Literally and
Have to get very
figuratively.
creative.
So Christy, I was just when you said how hard it is like bend over and pick stuff up, I totally understand, and it sucks being in a wheelchair to try to move stuff, especially that delicate cargo of the paper towel.
Yeah. And it's just, I know that there's quite a few of us in a wheelchair in this group, and I know that you understand the frustrations. And it's like, I can bend over and pick stuff up, but I have to get my chair in the right position. I have to make sure that I'm in a spot that I can lean over and grab it, that something's not gonna, like, I'm not gonna hit my head as I'm going down to pick it up. it's super frustrating.
That's
And,
exhausting.
you know,
Yeah,
everybody thinks it's so easy, and it's really, really not.
No,
no.
not at all.
So,
We all feel
yeah,
each other's pain, I think, in that, don't we?
yeah. And back in the day, it was just like, and this is when I was walking, and I get exhausted, and I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice to have a wheelchair. And I cursed myself
Yeah.
because, you know what, now that I'm 100% dependent on being in a wheelchair to get around, I'm like, God, it would be so great to just walk.
Mm.
Yeah, like it'd be so great for me to stand up and go to the bathroom right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Instead I have to plan 12 fucking steps.
Yep. You
I
know,
don't even mean like actual steps, it just takes me 12 steps to get there.
Oh, I gotcha. Like it's
Mm.
a lot to think about how to get there.
Yeah, like turning my
yeah,
chair, getting my walker, making sure it's solid, everything's locked. Make sure one of my dogs isn't underneath the walker.
Mm,
And that's
right.
stand up to use the bathroom.
Mm.
that's hard. Yeah, that is a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry y'all are going through that. Although on the flip side, I feel like I'm learning a lot of good tips just in case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, we got
really
a lot
am.
to share.
When you move into a chair, learn how to do a wheelie first.
Learn how to do a wheelie.
Yep, it'll get you over thresholds, no problem.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
I haven't learned a wheelie yet. Hopefully, um, because last time I was in the meeting, I was talking about the whole Medicare situation. Well, it's been taking, I still haven't been approved, and I needed to get my infusion. And so my husband just put me back on his insurance. So I'm back at the Mayo Clinic.
Oh, good.
Um, so hopefully they can teach me how to do a wheelie. So that
Jennifer,
would be nice.
Just something that my OT showed me. He's like, dude, this is how you get over thresholds. And it took me maybe 10 minutes to do it, but I've got it figured out. Because once you know how to do it, you do it. And,
Right.
who you're seeing in the Mayo Clinic, depending on if they're having a fun day or not, just say that to them. You know,
Right.
I want to try this out.
Jennifer, do you
Yeah.
have any wisdom to give us? Can you do a wheelie?
No, no. My only wisdom is if it's more for, and it sounds so not meant to be snotty, but it'll sound snotty, so I'm sorry. Just do everything you can to stay out of the friggin' chair.
Yeah, yeah.
As
Right.
much as possible, use those glutes. Sit to stand, sit to stand, sit to stand. I mean, just stay away from the chair as long as possible.
Yeah.
But it is, like John said and Christy said, it's a mixed blessing. I remember how stinking tired I was and how many times I could fall. I fell through, like, out of the shower, through the shower door.
Oh,
Like, okay, this is just not safe. It's, you're frustrated. I think Christy and John, and I can hear it, Carmen, in your voice. You're just frustrated all of the time.
Yeah.
But, that's why we come to the group, just to talk about it. And Kay, I don't want to scare you because I was diagnosed in '97 for the advent of a lot of the really more effective treatments that are on the market now. So I'm not, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't ever. There are a lot of good things, Hannah, and that the treatments are better now than they used to be. So
hmm Everyone's MS is
It's a good
so
time.
different. That's the other thing, you guys. Like, not everyone is impacted in the same way. And even though I was diagnosed in 2014, I can think of symptoms that I had in probably 92
Yeah.
I didn't recognize. So, like, if I look at that time frame, even though it's primary progressive, it has been rather slow progression. It's just now the progression is at a level where the damage is now really showing, and those things that used to be just minor are now more significant. Like at balance, I was always clumsy, and I just thought, yeah, okay, I'm just a clumsy person. I'm 5'11", and I'm a big person. Like, it's a lot to move a body around when you're 5'11" and a strong big woman. So I just thought, okay, I'm clumsy. I just don't know my body well enough. But no, it's fucking MS. Like, like it wasn't that I was clumsy. Okay, yeah, I was clumsy, but it was for a reason. It wasn't just, for nothing. Anyway, so
I
Yeah,
understand that. I was always clumsy too growing up.
me too.
That's
Me
what
too.
it is like clumsy. That word clumsy is kind of like a word that people use to describe you whenever they're describing who Hannah is clumsy. That's me. So,
Yeah, and me as well. I would do stupid shit like I would trip upstairs. How do you trip up a stair? Not, and I'd fall down the stairs too. So it's just like, so I can think back to when I was younger that, probably had it then, but it probably wasn't like as super prevalent as it is now.
yeah.
Um, it's just like, you don't think about going to the doctor about s- stuff like tripping upstairs or rolling your ankle and falling or some stuff like that.
drop.
Because it's not a super huge deal. Back when those little symptoms happen.
Hmm.
Um, it's just when the bigger symptoms appear, that's when, you start getting tested and stuff like that. But I probably could have been diagnosed back in like the late 80s. So,
So when you're younger, you just tend to bounce back a little bit more
mhm,
easily. I mean, so the doctors say. That's what they tell me. They say
right.
that when you're younger, you can, bounce back from some of these symptoms.
Why oh, you can bounce back if you're younger. If you came in and you were just 20 years younger, man, we would have had you all set up. Fuck. It took me years to figure this shit out. Everyone
Right.
to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
It takes a long time, yeah. Jennifer, I know you had mentioned urinary problems or just, whatever you're going with, because we're talking about things that you bounce up with, and that came to mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So today is Tuesday. Um, just to we're all friends here, so forgive me. I had my every 6 month Botox treatment on my bladder, and that's treatment where they can go in and inject Botox in your bladder if the medication, because there is oral medication available to treat the urgency and like the incontinence issues that you may face with the MS. But my medication just kind of stopped working. So my urologist wanted to try the Botox, and it's just frustrating because, like I said, I had the Botox on Wednesday, and it's just not working as well as I would like it to be. And I've got the MS, so my mind is fine, but things slip my mind, and I want it all week. Since then, I'm like, does Botox work instantly? And I know that if you're doing it for like facial things, you have to give it a little time, that it's not instantaneous. And I wanted to look about my bladder and I didn't. So that's my bad. I will look after this meeting. But so I'm a little frustrated with that. But it's just, I know Carmen, you had mentioned that you're looking into Botox, and it always worked really well, but this was maybe my fifth or sixth dose of Botox. So I'm hoping that, next Wednesday things will be wonderful, and I'm just got to be patient. There's so much about this darn disease that you have to be patient. And I'm just like, You have to go to the bathroom, and you're like, I don't want to be patient. I want to just be able to go. But that dovetails with John, and I saw your face. You understand. There's no patience when you have to go to the bathroom and you're in a wheelchair. So,
It's not quickly that you can get to the bathroom.
no.
You guys, you know what? I've got a commode at my bedside, which is right around the corner in the hallway, and I've just started having to use it as my toilet, basically. I mean, I make it to the bathroom for the big one, but still, it's just my daily, like, 'cause I'm there every hour yesterday, starting Lasix, you know? So I just have to accept that that's just my reality, you know? Like, that's just it. Whatever.
Yeah. And I struggle with, and I don't know if any of you all can help me, that you're supposed to drink more water to make your bladder
Yeah.
work better.
Yeah.
And that just is
This is
so it doesn't make sense to me.
Seems
And
counterintuitive. Yeah.
that's
Well,
kind of,
Yeah. Huh.
thing is that before I had my urinary issues, um, I used to would drink like half my body weight in water.
wow.
And that's basically what the a dietitian told me. It's good for you to drink half your body weight in
Don't
water.
don't
And
don't count cups anymore or anything. My nutrition said the same thing, Christy. Like half your body weight in ounces.
right,
So do your best. I had to do my best to like drink a gallon a day.
Wow.
right.
But
But you know what? I did notice like when I did increase my water intake for like the first 2 weeks, yeah, I was going to the bathroom like constantly. But after like 2.5 weeks ish, it stopped. And I went less, like even when I wasn't drinking as much water. I went to the bathroom less. So um I do know that that is a proven theory, but I don't know how it is with people with urinary issues.
yeah,
So I that's something I have an MS, a male MS clinic where I'm going to meet with doctor, his nurses, which I've already done. And then also I'll meet with the other departments like OT, PT, urology, social services, stuff like that. So hopefully I get some more answers and I get in to see those doctors so that I can get more answers.
And
So
Christy, I know you said you're going back to the Mayo Clinic, but it's a different Mayo Clinic. Is that correct?
what's that?
You're connected again to the Mayo Clinic, you said, but is it a different Mayo Clinic?
No, it's the same one.
Okay.
So yeah, so they have two clinics here. They have the hospital and then they have like the it's the other one is that I know of is the neurology clinic. And they're in two different locations. So I have I'll I have my doctors at the neurology clinic in Scottsdale. Um
Okay.
and then there's other services that are done at the actual hospital, the Mayo Hospital. So
I see.
it is the same Mayo Clinic.
Hmm.
So
I'm just glad you're reconnected, though, at least, you know.
yeah, so am I. You know, they're known for MS. That's one of they're known for. You know, so it's good to know that I'll be going somewhere that under like stands has plenty of patients that they see. I mean, Kim, if she were here, she would attest to this that they're a great clinic. She goes to the Rochester one. you know, and they're very thorough. That's what I like about them as well. So, and I'm sure Mike Catapult would agree as well, you know, that he's gotten outstanding care from there. So, I don't know. I'm just excited to see where my journey takes me going through Mayo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for you too. Um, Mayo Clinic, they've got a lot of locations, don't they? So you're in Arizona. So which one are you going to go see? Is it in your immediate vicinity?
I'm like halfway in between both the hospital and the neurology department.
Mhm.
So for the most part,
Okay.
I'm probably going to go to the Scottsdale one, but I will also be seeing some, like my infusions at the hospital, at their infusion clinic at the hospital. So I'll be doing different stuff, and I'm sure urology is at the hospital as well.
Oh,
Don't know. And PT and OT is probably at the hospital. I don't know. But for the most part, I will be seeing um, them at the Scottsdale location. Just 1 second.
oh. Well, she's going back right.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Well, Jennifer, was that everything you'd wanted to talk about? I just want to make sure we hit everything. Okay. Okay, good. Who else has something they really want to chat about? John?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
I broke up with my therapist,
Broke up. Ooh.
but it was all good
Okay.
because the psychiatrist that diagnosed me with ADHD is really interested in taking me on as a patient. Um, of course, my cynical master's degree in my brain, I'm like, oh yeah, he just wants to write a scholarly article about ADHD and MS. And I even
Oh,
like, oh, I'm so on board with that. So I get to see him starting on Monday,
wow.
and I told my, I'm gonna cry with it. Also, Kay, thank you for coming. It's amazing. Um, so we had our last session. I said, Tina, this is our last session together, and we talked about stuff. And within half an hour, we were sobbing. And she said, "Oh my God, I've got an appointment right after yours. Do not smear my makeup." And I said, "I can't imagine you not in my life."
Aw.
And she started sobbing. And we said, we can't like directly keep in touch because of like rules and shit. Um, she said, if a letter shows up once in a while, whatever. I'm gonna write her once in a while. And of course, I can text her, you know, if something big happens. But it's good to take this diagnosis into a different mindset, you know? Like, I need PhD level shit, you know? Um, and that's the difference between a therapist and a psychiatrist, at least in Michigan.
Yeah.
It's a tough relationship to let go. I mean, how long have you been connected?
With Tina, 6 years.
Okay, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that is a long time. And you've come a long way, you know. There's a lot that she's been connected with in your life. Yeah.
No, she's been really good. Like I said to her, like, hey, I need to teach you some of your clients, your younger clients' vocabulary. And she said, "What is Riz?" I said, "Riz is just charisma."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "What is a skibbity toilet?" I said, "You need to experience that on your own.
Oh God.
It's not something that you can describe."
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave her suggestions for things to binge, and she gave me some too. We're both big Star Trek fans.
Okay.
We're talking like binging the new stuff on Paramount. And she said, because you've been on Medicare for 2 years, I might have to give you a refund for your sessions.
Refund.
Yeah, for my copay.
Oh no.
Like, if you can find any way around that, because she doesn't take Medicaid
Oh,
or Medicare, she doesn't take Medicare.
take Medicare.
So if she has to send me money, there might be a gift card in my next letter,
Huh.
or
Yes.
I'll donate to the kennel that she volunteers at in our area.
It is really awesome that she's refunding you.
Yeah, yeah. She said maybe
Still, just the thought that she thought of that. That's
that she has to, like she's being forced to, but still, I'm going to do something nice for her. She'll have a rubber duck on her Jeep sometime. That what we'll do with Jeeps, rubber duck thing.
I've seen them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what it's about, but I've seen them.
It's a cult.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Jeeps are a cult, anyways. Like, you ever ride in a Jeep and see another Jeep, you gotta wave to each other.
Huh. Ask my sister that. She's got a Jeep.
There you go.
Sure.
Turns out, like when Corsica owners wave at each other, like it's usually like, "Oh, you're gonna hit something." So yeah, big mental health week. Um, I had a telehealth meeting with my new psych. They call me Jim because just shut up, Jim. Like, okay. And I said, I'm on something called amoxicillin. Like, yeah, that's called Stratera and it's garbage. They're going to get you. Um, Mine is a passive medicine and he wants an active medicine. I forget what the words are now. A stimulant. I'm on a non stimulant.
Stimulant.
Says we're going to put you on a stimulant. But since I started taking these other pills, man, oh man, am I remembering a little bit of stuff here and there. And he recommended an app. I've downloaded the app, and it's just one of those task apps. I'll
Oh, okay.
put it up, spend time on it. It's called Todoist. I can put it in the chat later. But it's just one of those things that he told me to do, and I have 9 daily chores that I have to do. Wash mats, dry mats, wash blanket, dry blanket, feed fish, feed banana, dryer, full mats, put away mats. Like just like a list of everything that I usually do, but it's keeping me more focused. Sometimes I feel like I don't even need to check off my list because I've done this stuff. And now I'm able to plan for further off projects. Like our MS walk is in a ballpark this year. As a baseball fan, that's dope as hell. Jennifer is the West Michigan Whitecaps. Grand Rapids.
Speaking of dope as hell, I noticed your spicy pickles hat. So ball cap. So
Oh yeah, my spicy pickle hat from the Loons.
from the loons. So
I had to get this hat because it's hilarious.
it's hilarious.
It's
But yes,
with a baseball bat.
I'll have to talk to Dan and maybe we'll swing down your way and we'll do the walk.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to finally meet in person. And I'm sorry that all of us, Jen in Indiana said, shoot, Dan and I were just in Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. How far would that have been from you?
It's about an hour. Well, I take the back roads because I will flip out when I drive on the interstate. So it takes me about an hour and 20 minutes to go see my daughter and my grandbaby. They live in Indy.
Okay.
Not too bad, but I haven't been able to go there for a while because of the snow.
Yeah, something. I have a that I want to meet in person. Ah, that's close.
I also made some other plans too.
Sound is
John, I didn't even recognize you.
Oh, hi. Lost some weight.
I was saying you look like a young boy.
Yeah, it's like where it's all hanging in my, like it's not solid anymore. And I jiggle my.
I was thinking the beard looked a little trimmed.
I need to do more. This great faults here. Yeah. So
That was the hat too.
what's that?
It was the hat.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing I'm doing is my world of all time, and I've got tickets to go see them, and they're having two bands open for them that I also love. So I'm excited to go see a concert. I've never seen them before in concert, and I already like pinned down the wheelchair seating with my companion next to me and all that kind of stuff. Like we're gonna stay at a hotel that night, and I'm gonna use all my spoons and all the next day spoons and all the next day spoons and all the next day spoons to do this.
who are you seeing, John? Sorry.
Primus, like a really like prog rock band from the '90s that
Cool.
just has a lot of albums out, and their bass player is knows Les Claypool, but a lot of us call him God because he is a bass god. Um,
I love Primus.
yeah. But Chris, I'm going to go see Primus.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So just planning more stuff out ahead because I have hope of being able to do it. Like, yes, I want to go visit her parents for a week this summer because her parents actually put a ramp up for me. And we all remember that ordeal when my parents won't build a ramp, whatever. So yeah, just looking forward to doing things, and just knowing that I'm in a wheelchair makes it a little bit easier, and like that I can get around. But we're even looking at like a hitch lift for my power chair, so I can power chair my ass around. Because we have an SUV that is non-modifiable. And when we were shopping for a car that was modifiable, I couldn't get into it with just my body. It wasn't like a drive up into the passenger seat. It was a yeah, stone go seating. Yeah. So excitement in my eyes, hope. See, Kate, it's still there. It's still there.
Bye, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer, love you.
Hi, Jennifer.
No, Kay, it's wonderful that you're here. I got to get my Melissa to come to one of these because my wife is my caregiver, which throws some weird things into romance. Just so you know, like, it's
Hmm.
to separate your patient from your significant other sometimes. Melissa, so she's like, dude, I just cleaned like poop off your wheelchair. No, I don't want to get kissy at all for the next like 3 weeks. And then in that 3 weeks, something else happens. You know? So beware of that. Intimacy with MS is a complicated topic.
It is.
Thank you for your willingness to share that and for making me feel welcome here today. That's really appreciated by me, and thank you.
And we have a YouTube channel that we broadcast this on every time. So there is a backlog going, Louise, what, like 2 or 3 years now? That
Yes.
Louise met us.
Oh,
Hey, if you ever want to look back into that, someone post that in the chat for me if they would. Then
thank you.
we can just
We'll
take a look at all of our old stuff, you know?
It's much better to be present, though. I mean, I spent 2 years, 2+ years, just watching every Wednesday, I would watch the recording from Tuesdays, and I always wanted to be there because I wanted to say something. And I don't know why it took me so long, but once I got on here, it's just so much better to be present. So, hey, I hope you come back.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
absolutely.
want to. Um, It made me feel welcome, and I don't know the right words here, so please bear with me. You know, to say that I can learn a lot, I don't like really how that sounds because I feel like you guys didn't choose to have MS, right? Again, please bear with me if I don't explain this well. I just really don't want to disrespect or offend
Hey,
anyone.
I want to stop you right there and go. There's something called cog fog. So even people with MS sometimes don't explain things well. So don't feel like you have to explain things perfectly. Everybody understands,
Yeah,
okay? So just say what you need to say.
we were all right where you were one day.
So
You know.
everybody gets it, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. I, um, yeah, so to say I can learn from you, I don't like the way that sounds because it, to me, maybe makes you guys feel like you're teachers of your experiences, but they're not experiences that you would have chosen to have probably, but all this to say that I'm very appreciative that I can just be present and hear you, and hopefully that can help me be a better partner to my partner on this journey.
Kay.
I think that,
Yeah.
I'll often say to my husband, like, I've had MS for 33 years, and if you live with someone that has MS, you also are living with MS.
Yeah.
And so you're not diagnosed with MS, but I don't know what this sounds like, but you have MS, because you live with it. So there's a lot that you can tell us about what you're going through. We can,
If there's any questions at all, like we would love to answer them.
So many
Even
outreach.
even
Like I do outreach. I know Jennifer does outreach. Hannah, I think, does outreach as well.
Mhm.
Like
what is outreach? What do you mean, John, by outreach?
like I go to. We have something called Community Action Day,
Okay.
where we learn about what laws we want our um, like statewide people to vote a certain way. Because for one of the things was like U.S. government was spending $10 million on MS research, and we were convinced people to vote on a bill that doubled that to $20 million. We just do stuff like that, and then also like we go to the MS walk. I know that Jennifer does a lot with outreach stuff, but I've done outreach all my life with animals and this and that and all sorts of stuff. So, okay, you are my target audience. I gotta admit, having you here is so awesome because you have
A rock star.
such a different perspective than many of us.
I was
And
going to
I,
say there's probably lots we can learn from you. So anything you can share, we appreciate too.
yeah,
Wow, thank you. I will just say that when this process began, um, I committed to trying to become as informed and educated about MS and the different treatment options as I could. So I should say my background is financial auditing. So by nature, I've always been a very curious um, person, right? I always have a lot of questions about things. I wonder why things are the way they are. And so that was my perspective getting started on this journey, was doing a ton of research, right? Reading articles in peer-reviewed journals, reading clinical trial results, reading FDA documents about the different DMTs, reading stories that came out of ECTRIMS, the European Committee on Treatment and Research in MS from Europe, from their conference in Copenhagen this past September. But what I realized is I was going in that direction is that I was missing, hearing from people who are living with MS, right? I can read all this research, I can see this data, I can read all this kind of factual, heavy stuff. And that was why I wanted to try to attend some meetings like this meeting to hear more of the human side, if you will.
Okay, I have an amazing movie recommendation for you. I posted a YouTube link in the chat on the side. It's called Crip Camp. That's just what it's called. So, it was made in the 70s, and it was about the people that formed the ADA, American with Disabilities Act, and they all went to like a camp. It was like a kids camp, but for disabled people. And just the stories of the challenges and stuff like that. That is like what you said, the human side. Like if you want to watch that, it's like a 2-hour movie. You're going to cry your ass off, no matter what. You're going to cry your ass off. It's just a touching story, but there's so much laughter to it that it really shows that people with disabilities are still people. Like no matter what, we're still people. And Kay, any questions you ever have, please, like everyone said, just ask. I'm I as everyone knows here, I like to share my knowledge. I like to talk about stuff. So feel free to use me as a resource.
Thank you so much. I definitely will. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around a lot of things. My loved one, we have had them seen by several different specialists, MS specialists, to get different opinions, and we are still weighing some of the things that they have told us. We are hoping to get some more tests done. So, of course, we've had the basic tests done. Actually, even quite a few more tests done than probably what would be considered the basic tests. And now we're at the point about thinking, about a treatment, which we have a lot of thinking to do. We've seen a lot of stuff in the research that's given us a lot of food for thought. Um, you know, um, a loved one has not made a decision yet. I know that's a very personal and individual issue for people with MS, which treatment they choose and why and how. Some seem to work better for people. People change their treatments for different reasons. I know that that's just, again, from the research side, that is something that seems to happen. There's more options available now than there were in the past.
Oh yeah.
Maybe contributes to, how do you choose the right one out of, say 20-ish choices. So that's kind of where we're at in the process.
It helps. I felt like it was really, really helpful for me personally when basic understanding of these drugs and how they work. But then she narrowed it
And
down.
I lost you. Could you mind saying that again?
Yeah, how about now? Are you okay?
We can see you.
Okay. Yeah, so I just want to say, like, the way my doctor laid it all out for me was she narrowed down the list of medications that she thought that were good for me in her personal opinion. And then what my job was to go in and research all of those options that she had narrowed down, and then I went and I chose from there. So if it's helpful, maybe you can ask the neurologist to do something like that if you're lost. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're also a little bit held up right now with the change of the presidential administrations because we are we had a consultation at the National Institutes of Health. So we're kind of waiting to follow back up with them, but that's in a little bit of limbo right now. That's some of our delay.
And Kay, I don't want to say this is my opinion, but I think it's an opinion that probably everyone in this group today would agree with. If you have your option for your partner to look for a specialized MS neurologist. Do that. Don't go to a general neurologist. To get an MS specialist will be the best care, in my opinion, and I think probably a number of people in the group agree that an MS specialist, neurologists, general neurologists are great, but to have that targeted MS would be really good. And it sounds like you're doing so much research and you probably already know that, but I think it's an important thing just to mention.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Yes. We have gotten some opinions from some MS specialists. Um, we got started on the journey with the general neurologist initially, and then, as the diagnostic process narrowed, we did end up being referred to an MS specialist, and then, we wanted to get some additional opinions, and so that's also how we ended up at NIH to get our
um,
as
Kim,
well.
and when I was diagnosed, like my after visit, like 3 weeks later, the doctor said, "Okay, so I've picked out 3 different options that will work the best for you. Would you like to take a pill a day? Would you like to give yourself a shot a week? Or would you like to come in every 3 months for an infusion?"
Okay.
Like, well, I want to take the once a day pill. That fits right in my schedule. Because I've heard horror stories about people that give themselves injections, the needle breaking off inside of their stomach, and then not be able to be found anymore. Um, I learned about that in a book that's called Despite MS, and it shows like a really personal side of partners that both have MS. I'm not plugging Jennifer's book or anything. I'm just saying, like, oh, I got that book from a friend post diagnosis, and it really showed that it's not the end of the world. You just have to keep going. You know,
Thank you.
see some Bruce Springsteen once in a while. Yeah,
Thank you.
just
I will look for that book as well and read it. I have read a couple memoirs that I found on Amazon of people living with MS, and I read a couple books by some MS specialists as well. I have Dr. Brandon Bieber's book in my queue next on Kindle. The title is something about resilience. I'm sorry, I can't remember the full title, but if you're familiar with Dr. Brandon Bieber from YouTube or any of the other media outlets he's on, that's how I learned about his book. So I will hopefully be getting to that soon.
And have you come across Dr. Aaron Foster?
Oh yes, yes, I have watched a lot of his videos. Yeah, actually the MS specialist I started my research journey with was Dr. Gavin Giovanoni out of the UK. I don't know if okay, I see some look like you're familiar. His MS selfie site and the resources he's made on that site, especially about the DMTs. I followed a lot of his updates from the ECTRIMS conference this fall. Actually, a doctor that my loved one saw at NIH, several people, this doctor and several of his colleagues actually attended the ECTRIMS conference. So we were talking about, things they learned there. And yeah, fortunately, I've been fortunate to find a lot of these experts either with their websites or on YouTube, and have been able to gain a lot of information from them.
And last one is because you mentioned ECTRIMS, you probably know John Strum.
Yes, yes, Real Talk MS. Yes, I try to listen to the podcast every week. I listen to that. I follow MS Translate, Brett Drummond. He has the Facebook page and the podcast. I listen to the Messy podcast with Christina Applegate, Jamie Lynn Sigler. ECTRIMS has their own podcast. I try to, podcasts are easy for me to listen to when I'm like doing housework and stuff. I can do them a lot better than reading, time wise. So yeah, I've tried to find as many as possible to keep learning additional information.
she knows more than we do. She knows more than
Today,
we do.
Oh no, not at all.
You know what I was thinking too. Like all of these podcasts, some of them I've never heard of, so this is great.
Jennifer, which podcast guy do we see at MS Action every once in a while? Like the big guy, not in like size, but he's very like important. I think Kay mentioned him.
I'm not sure. Where did we see him?
It would have been on like virtual Action Day. Like he would like say hi everyone and kind of host.
Well, I know. Did we see John King? He doesn't necessarily have a podcast. He may,
Okay.
but he is a television personality who's also living with MS.
Yes.
I don't want to say personality, but he's a man who does news and he also has MS.
Yes, he was just a recent guest on the Messy podcast with Christina Applegate and Jamie Lynn Sigler. I just finished that episode a couple days ago.
Yeah, he's a really good resource and he has a good story.
Yeah, it was very inspiring to hear him talk about what how he's basically moving forward, even with the challenges he's facing with MS, how he's still doing what he loves doing with his career. And yeah, I actually have watched John King for many years on CNN, and I had no idea. I guess he talks about why he didn't be go public with his diagnosis, until later on in his journey.
Hey, I got to roll out, friends. So I'll see you next meeting. Kay, please keep coming back. Everyone else, keep coming back. Alexa, it's nice to meet you finally after what, years?
Yes, years.
Yeah, years. All right.
Hi, John.
Everyone.
Hey, Jen.
John, thank you. And I also need to go as well. It's getting to be the end of the school day time when I need to get ready for the next part of my afternoon. So I will keep my eye.
Hey, are you on our newsletter list where you get reminders?
I think so. That's how I learned of this meeting. I got the email. So
I just wanted to make sure.
thank you. Hopefully, the next time this group meets, I'll be able to attend.
Wonderful.
It'd be great to see you or hear from you again.
Everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I actually have a question real quick. Is the MS funding by any chance through CDMRP?
There is a portion of the CDMRP that's congressionally directed MP. But I know it's somewhat at the Department of Defense.
Yeah, that's what that is. So that program's in trouble.
Because of
so unfortunately, the website's down, it's gone. And it's very likely that that program's going to go before Doge. So I had a conversation with Rick about that yesterday.
before it will go before what?
Doge.
Oh,
Department of Government Efficiency.
yeah.
So per an executive order, because this is something I want to bring to your attention. Rick and I had a conversation about this yesterday because this affects most of our groups. MS has a CDMRP program, prostate cancer does. This is how a lot of these conditions get funding. Per an executive order, that website was taken down. And right now, we don't know what's going on. We're trying to figure out what's going on, and we are very concerned about it. What we do know is that there is some money already appropriated to that program. And so we're trying to figure out what does this mean. So I will say this is an evolving situation, but since a lot of you are in the advocacy community, I wanted you to be aware because I just found out, and Rick just found out yesterday, that definitely put some bugs in people's ears because I think we're all just kind of finding out about it. But this, I think one of the great things about that program is it has impacts that impact everybody. And the research that we get from that program affects people in different countries. It affects literally everybody. And not only that, it also impacts our veterans and our active duty military members. So I didn't know if, because I know MS does have a program there. I didn't know if the funding that you guys, because I know you and Dan go lobby quite a bit for that funding. I didn't know if that was wholly in that program or if you guys have a separate program or what it is.
Well, and Alexa, what's interesting, really quick, should we continue recording this or should we talk off camera?
We can talk off camera about this a little more, but I also wanted people to be aware that because we do have some people who are consumer reviewers, we do have some people who are impacted by some of the research that gives, just as an FYI to everybody. That is what's going on, unfortunately.
I think that's really important. And Alexa, and to anybody that's listening, like, as you are talking, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard about like the NIH funding and
yes,
but I hadn't heard that about the CDMRP. And I'm thinking Dan and I can reach out to. We have one legislator that is with the Department of, he's a veteran and he's been
wonderful,
really helpful.
Okay, so we can definitely talk more then.
That's something, yeah. So
yeah, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention real quick.
Thank you. Yeah, Hannah, I don't want to like stamp over or anything. I'm sorry. Did everybody get all their stuff done?
Sorry, I know it's real loud out here. But yeah, does anybody else want to say something, Louise?
My name was on the list, but I'm tired and I have very thick brain fog today, so I'm going to pass. I want to wait for. I prefer to wait for Andrea to join us because we were talking about. I've been doing some research on aging with MS, and I just need some time to report what I found. So
Yeah, and Andrea will be here. I believe the next meeting she wasn't able to be here today.
yeah,
Louise, and I would love to talk about that too. Maybe like an afternoon meeting again, not do the late night.
well, yeah, because the late night, I'm not all. It's 9:30 here when it starts, so I'm usually getting ready for bed at that time. So I think it's a conversation that might require some time, but not a lot, and it
Well,
requires for my brain to be working better.
well, this meeting would be, so this is January, so maybe at the end of February would be the afternoon meeting.
Yeah, okay.
And I will make a big fat note about that because I think that would be a really good conversation. And I'll message Andrea.
Yeah, February 25th is the next afternoon meeting. So yeah, we can bring it up then, and we can make a note to have you go first, actually. So
And I'll be better prepared then. Okay.
Yeah, and let Andrea know too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was very nice today. I really enjoyed being with all of you.
Yeah.
It was good seeing you, Louise.
You.
No, love seeing you guys.
See
You guys
you.
take
Bye.
care.
See ya.
Bye.
Jennifer, I